Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever.
Strong, intelligent women, ever.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Susie Wiles will be White House Chief of Staff. She'll be the first Chief of Staff in history that is a woman.
President-elect has selected Pam Bondi as the next Attorney General of the United States.
South Dakota Governor Christie, known as his next Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security. Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard to be the next Director of National Intelligence. Wendy McMahon has his choice to lead the Department of Education.
Upstate New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik to be the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations.
Caroline Levitt to be his new White House Press Secretary.
Well, that aged perfect, actually. Mark Cuban, I appreciate you for, giving us the material for the new campaign ad. Well, not even campaign ad. Look at me. It's been so long. We was doing so many campaign ads. It's almost embedded in me. It could have been a campaign ad. It definitely turned into one as we led up to the election. But you're talking about women out here not being strong and intelligent that are surrounding Donald Trump, which is an insult, man. The Democrats continue to just insult all Americans just because they don't agree with their belief system. You know what I mean? All the women that support Trump have to be stupid, right? What a stupid take. But breaking news, Trump nominates Pam Bondi for the U.S. Attorney General. Now, it was a lot of controversy surrounding Matt Gaetz. And of course, you have the Democrat shills out here taking advantage of the fact that he decided to drop out because he wanted to respect the Trump campaign. And he didn't want the controversy surrounding him to overshadow the good of the Trump campaign. He decided to step down as a nominee, and Donald Trump prompted Pam up. But again, if you listen to like MSNBC, the Joy Reids of the world, the Sunny Hoskins and all that, he don't care about women. He's misogynistic outside of being racist and all the other ists and isms that they try to give him. But let's go in and hear from Fox News. Fox News, what? Fox.
Breaking tonight, a lot happening during this show. Just announced, the president-elect has selected Pam Bondi as the next Attorney General of the United States. I'll read from this announcement from the president-elect. I'm proud to announce former Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Pam Bondi, as our next Attorney General of the United States. Pam was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, where she was very tough on violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida families. Then, as Florida's first female Attorney General, she worked to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs and reduce the tragedy of fentanyl overdoses deaths, which have destroyed many families in our country. She did such an incredible job that I asked her to serve as our Opioid and Drug Abuse Commission. During my first term, we saved many lives. Again, he goes on to say she's smart and tough and is America's first fighter who will do a terrific job as Attorney General. Again, Pam Bondi from Florida, the next nominee for President-elect Trump, who obviously saw today that Matt Gaetz pulled his name from nomination as the votes were not there on Capitol Hill in the Senate for Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. Pam Bondi, now the name that the president-elect has put forward in that position.
I don't know about y'all, but it seems to me that Trump is picking some pretty intelligent women on his team. I think that this is a massive win. I'm looking at some comments. It says, Bondi AG appoints Gaetz as special prosecutor, Homan, the border czar. This is definitely the Trump Justice League when you start to say their names like that. Pam Bondi is the best suitable for AG. Somebody said racist Trump pick only white peoples. Oh my gosh, why does everything have to be about race, bro? I'm a black man and Trump making his picks head not one time that I go, oh, he ain't got a black person up there. Oh my God, if anything, he's so misogynistic. He has so many women up there, like, right? Like these people, man. Somebody said the world is at war and Trump isn't even president yet. What is the man M factory worker going to do? World needs Harris. Oh my, what? Attorney Pam Bondi is going to take it to the establishment, the corrupt DOJ, FBI, and I can't wait to watch them freak out. They're going to get my popcorn now. Obviously, mainstream media is afraid, but this right here says CNN is afraid Pam Bondi will follow through on what she said. But they should be afraid. If you broke the law to persecute your political opponents, Lay up.
When Republicans take back the White House, you know what's going to happen? The Department of Justice, the prosecutors will be prosecuted, the bad ones. The investigators will be investigated because the deep state, last term for President Trump, they were hiding in the shadows. But now they have a spotlight on them, and they can all be investigated.
The question is whether or not actions follow the rhetoric. And if she does, in fact, do something that we've not seen in modern times with the head of the Department of Justice, which is use that very powerful agency to go after a president's political opponents. That obviously is not what we're accustomed to. It's not what we've seen in the past. It's quite arguably not what the Department of Justice is there to do. But again, I'm looking not really so much at the rhetoric, but at the action.
Yeah, buddy, she mean business. That's all I can say. And I would be terrified, too, if I was somebody that was corrupt and had to go against that. Because, I mean, look, she's coming for you, okay? She is coming. Oh, wow. How did I manage to do that? I'm trying to get to the comment section real quick for y'all. Hold on. What is she talking about? We've been watching the DOJ do this the last 4 years, praying grandmas, protesting abortion, J6's school board, parents, political opponents, Trump banning. Those really mentioned. This is exactly what we've seen out of the DOJ. Let me see. Did the lady from CNN really say that we have never seen the DOJ go after a political opponent? Yeah, man, come on. She's going after the corrupt DOJ. She's going after Jack Smith, and she's going to go through the FBI. Yeah, there needs to be some accountability for the last 4 years. I'll just leave it at that. Now, moving forward, Pam Bondi to Mark Cuban. You know, I played that beginning clip for a reason. She's just perfect to be AG. Check this out.
Well, I was a prosecutor. I was a homicide prosecutor for 18 years. I was Florida's first female attorney general, and I was special advisor to Donald Trump, Office of White House Counsel, but most importantly, I'm his friend. And I was in that White House, and we all know he surrounded himself with a lot of brilliant women. How many women here tonight support Donald Trump? And backstage, look at these beautiful women sitting behind me. Sorry, guys, in the front row. Donald Trump, that was the greatest gift Mark Cuban could give Donald Trump, I think, by saying something so ignorant and stupid. So I have a message for Mark Cuban from all of us here tonight. Underestimate us. This is going to be fun.
I'm sorry. I just got to keep showing y'all just how, unintelligent and weak she is, according to Mark Cuban. I appreciate George for posting this. Future Attorney General Pam Bondi masterfully defended President Trump at the sham impeachment trial and exposed the fact that Hunter and Joe Biden took bribes from Ukraine. Yeah, man, I like this energy. He also added, George, that is, I already like this lady. She's battle tested.
Chief Justice, Senators. Senators, you heard our answer regarding that yesterday, but it is very interesting that he said he never spoke to his son about overseas dealings. His son said different things. Joe Biden was the point man for Ukraine, investigating at the time Ukrainians were a corrupt company, Burisma, and Zlochevsky, its owner, an oligarch who by all media accounts we've discussed was extremely corrupt. Hunter Biden is paid $83,000 a month to sit on that board with no experience in energy, no experience in the Ukraine, doesn't speak the language, and we clearly know that he had a very fancy job description, and he did none of those things. He attended 1 or 2 board meetings, one in Monaco, and then he went on a fishing trip with Joe Biden's family in Norway. The entire time, Joe Biden knows that this oligarch is corrupt. Everyone knows that. There are news reports everywhere. No one will dispute that. In fact, it raised eyebrows worldwide. But the vice president, by his account, never once asked his son to leave the board. We wouldn't be sitting here if he did. He never asked his son to leave the board. Instead, he started investigating the prosecutor who was going after Burisma and this corrupt oligarch who they say was corrupt even by oligarch standards, who had fled the country, living in Monaco. He does not ask him to leave the board. He does the opposite. In 2015, what does he do? We know by reports he has close contact with President Poroshenko. He travels to Ukraine twice. He links it to the fire. He links the aid to the firing. Same thing in 2016 at a White House meeting. Links the aid to the firing of the prosecutor. Calls him 4 times in the 8 days up to leading to the prosecutor. The prosecutor investigating Hunter Biden, yet he never says that. All cases closed. Days before Biden leaves office, he jokes to Poroshenko that he may have to call him every couple weeks to check in. Hunter Biden stays on that board for 3 years. 3 years. Then we hear the video of Joe Biden bragging about firing the prosecutor, linking it to aid. Then we have the 6-minute phone call.
Now, I'm telling you, I rock with Matt Gaetz. I did, you know what I mean? But she looking like a really good candidate, too. I'll say equally, I like both of them. The comment section, I was concerned about Gaetz withdrawing, but Pam Bondi's going to do a phenomenal job. Somebody said Pam Bondi is a Pam Bondi. I keep saying Pan. Wow. Forgive me. Is a force to be reckoned with. Her sharp defense at Trump at the impeachment trial and her fearless exposure of the Biden's family corruption proves she's more than ready to tackle the swamp. As Attorney General, she's exactly what America needs. Yes, we should expect Democrats to support the first woman, USAG, right? Aligns with their DEI initiatives, right? Or mandate, should I say. And nothing happened. She's weak, somebody says. That was obviously satire. Somebody said, I like Pam Bondi, but for all we know, this may have been their plan all along, which brings me to, could this have been? People are saying this. Now, I wanted to make sure I gathered the reason why in the more formal context. Strategic withdrawal, right? Some see Gaetz' withdrawal as a strategic move. It's suggested by nominating Gaetz, Trump might have aimed to draw out opposition within the Senate, thereby identifying his critics or those less loyal to his agenda. After this, nominating Pam Bondi, who has a more conventional path for the role, might appear as a safer choice for confirmation, thus potentially making her the real intended nominee from the start. Could this have been his game plan? Political maneuvering, right? Another view is that Trump's initial nomination of Gaetz could have been a political favor or distraction. Gaetz, facing an ethics investigation, could use the nomination as a way to resign from Congress, potentially avoiding further scrutiny, with the possibility of returning after the issue has cooled down or obtaining another influential position. Bondi's subsequent nomination would then align with Trump's need for a loyalist who faces less controversy. Loyalist, huh? How about we just stay loyal to the truth and what's right for America? Loyal to America, right? Confirmation strategy. There's a belief that Trump might have always planned for Bondi, but used Gaetz' nomination to test the waters or create a narrative. By having Gaetz withdraw, it could be perceived as a concession to the Senate Republicans or Democrats, making Bondi's confirmation process smoother by comparison. This theory suggests that Trump's playbook often includes such strategic moves to manage political optics or to negotiate with Congress. Now, you also have the public and political sentiment of this. The reaction of platforms like X shows a mix of disappointment from Gaetz supporters and a relief from those who are critical of his nomination due to the allegations against him. Bondi's nomination is seen by some as Trump's return to more traditional picks, possibly indicating that her appointment was the plan all along after ensuring the political objectives were met or tested with Gaetz' nomination. So yeah, I gave y'all 4 different ways this could have been a plan of Donald Trump's, and if I'm being completely honest with you, it ain't far-fetched. I'm wishing her nothing but success. I don't know much about her outside of what I've been introduced to for the last couple of days. That's the reason why I didn't want to, hop on this last night immediately. I wanted to just kind of figure out who she was. But I think this is a excellent choice, man. From what I see, she's a go-getter, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does.